Welcome to my garden. I'd like to plant today. One of the things that we're going to be planting here pretty quick is garlic. It definitely looks like I left a clove or two in the ground, and these just popped up. And that's wonderful, except they're not going to make it through the frost. There's way too much green on here, and when it freezes, that's just going to knock those back. So we will have to harvest those right when it frosts. But that's about the time we want to plant the new ones. And of course there's two types of garlic. There's the hard neck and the soft neck. I don't really care, I grow them both. They both need to be vernalized. I love that word. That just means they need to have some frost. If you're in one of the northern zones where your frost is going to come pretty quick, it's okay to get them in the ground and then mulch over them. Then they'll experience the vernalization like they need to in nature, and then they'll grow. The thing with garlic, you got to be patient. They can take up to 200 days before you're ready to pick. And this volunteer bean is just loaded, and these are the perfect size. What I'd like to be planting today, we'll talk about vernalization. I've got oranges blooming and limes blooming. It's 87 degrees out. We're not even taking them all. We're leaving those smaller ones to go ahead and mature up a little bit. You've seen me. I've had trouble with garlic in the past. Get a little anxious, get it in the ground, and it starts growing real good. And then it frosts back. I've had some problems with the onions too. And I've got some shallots I want to start this year. It's 87 degrees out here right now. If I put the shallots or the garlic in, yeah, it looked like they were growing well, but I'd lose them. This thing is just loaded. There's a ton of smaller ones that I'm going to leave on. Let those get a little bigger. Now I was asked how many plants there are. Right here, I think there's 3. The ones we were picking off of the other day, I don't think there was more than 6. Now I have to apologize to everybody. I never thought I'd be in a position where I couldn't physically answer everybody's question. So if I miss a question, I apologize. I'll try to get it the next time. It's kind of like the beans growing here. All of a sudden there's so many that I can't even get to them all. I was just on that side of the fence and I thought I had them all. They hide in here pretty good. I think we did pretty good with this volunteer. Let's go check out this other volunteer. That's not a half bad bowl. This is just one plant and it likes where it rooted. These are Kentucky Wonders. They don't have strings in them, so they're pretty easy to process. Just snap the ends off, break them in a couple pieces. We blanch them and then freeze them. Well, the ones that we don't eat. Everywhere you look, you got beans. You can do this too. And this is how easy this was. This came up on its own. And that's it. Like I've been saying, the hardest work you're going to do in a deep mulch garden is harvest. There's always time to plant. And we will be out here and put garlic in. I hope you join me for that. Can you see right in here? This is absolutely loaded. So what happens when you flower where you root? You can make a huge difference in your area. Right here where there was nothing, now there's food for days. And it's all perspective. You look at it one way and you only see a little bit. You look at it another way and there's a bounty. Because sometimes what you see isn't all that's there. It's amazing how you can get a life lesson from just picking beans. Yeah, we're gonna leave. I was gonna say we're gonna leave some of the smaller ones to grow, and then there's some more bigger ones. Let's see. Let's go up underneath here and look at that. Like I've learned, you can't just look at it in one direction. And the beauty is, with the temperature we have, we'll be able to come out here and do this again in the next day or so. I got my bowl almost full, but look at this, hanging down from the trellis. We were just over here the other day. We had this completely cleared off. Every plant has its time, and right now the beans are producing, so that's what we're picking. You were with me when I set this trellis up. There was nothing out here in the garden, and I was even concerned whether or not we'd ever get anything. It worked out pretty well. You know, it is getting fall when it's starting to turn dark before we get all the work done that we want to get done. And my bowl is full. We weighed this the other day. This thing holds just about 14 pounds. This year it's been warm enough we didn't get rid of all the squash bugs. But we've still been getting some pretty nice little tender squash. That's not that big, but that's how we like them, nice and tender. This is our sucker that we took off, rooted, and planted. We've been getting some really nice tomatoes off of here. And if you look at this 8 feet up, all right, see if there's anything else we want to bring in. There's round 3 of corn. It's tasseling out, and I think it's about ready to start making ears. I got round 2 of the reapers that are ready to come off. Came out here to talk about garlic, wound up picking a whole bunch of beans. Well, that's gardening for you. Sometimes you get distracted by a shiny object, and you can do this too. If you want to learn a little bit more about the deep mulch, click that link right there and I'll meet you right back in the garden. If you want to learn about the living soil, click that link right there and I'll meet you back in the garden. And until next time, remember, take care of yourself, take care of your family, and God bless you. Come on, let's plant.
Let's go plant garden.